a little bit as well, as far as pests that can come into contact with these plants and decimate crops. And that kind of rolls over into the cannabis industry a little bit as well, as far as pests that can come into contact with these plants and decimate crops. Mm-hmm. I've seen in Washington State, when I worked in Washington State, people banking their life savings on these grow facilities, putting all their money into it. They're waiting for their first crop, and then all of a sudden some type of pest comes, a mite or something comes along and eats up the crop. And then these guys are left broke, and they can't restart. They don't have the capital to get more plants and get that all out of there and start all again and do another year cycle to get everything up and running. Do you think that, obviously it will come here, but I just wanted to get your opinion on how that might come into play here. Also, on the same other side of that is pesticides. When they're starting to test for these products, and pesticides are being used on the cannabis plant, and then it comes through when after it's being processed, and you start doing that testing, and the government starts doing that testing, it can really put a company or a business in jeopardy if they decide to use those types of things.
I think this is where the board of advice that you've been talking about comes into a reasonable area of its own, in that we can advise on appropriate processes to follow. And one of those is to try and avoid pesticides if at all possible. Minimise the exposure to synthetic pesticides. Try and do organic as much as you can. Bugs for bugs, or a company like that, biological control, so where you're using other insects to control aphid infestation, mite infestation, whatever, closed area, is the best way to go. Having good screening mechanisms for the presence of undesirable chemicals, be they heavy metals, be they pesticides, be they other chemicals that you might or might not be using in your value chain, then those are things that we need to make sure that you're putting in place at the very beginning.